Hey guys, so today I am going to show you how I made a filter. Um, it's called Cat in the Hat, and so I came up with the idea to do the filter whenever I was doing my content marketing strategy for the week, because I saw that today was Read Across America for Dr. Seuss' birthday. Okay? I did not know all the controversy was going to happen with Dr. Seuss and in the books in today's date. That I did not foretell. But, um, it does create an interesting opportunity for social media and for marketing and strategizing and just, getting your brand out there. If that's something that you want to do, you always got to be careful which side of the fence you fall on some of these things. So I know my personal beliefs that I support Dr. Seuss. That's my personal thing. If you're working for a client, then you want to make sure that they, follow suit, or they just, want to stay away from it because of the controversy that it is. Or if you're for your brand, you're going to have your own. If you're freelancing, you're going to have your own brand and your standards and the kind of things that you represent as part of your morals. And so sometimes whenever I, meet with new prospective clients, I kind of get an idea who they are. If their morals and their values are the same as mine, then it's great. If they're not the same as mine, that's fine on them, but it's just not something that I want to work with. So so sometimes things do become a controversy. And having said that, sometimes they also become an opportunity to market yourself as a freelancer or market your brand. Which again depends on whichever way you want to fall on. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you how I made the Snapchat filter that I made. I just made it last night. And whenever I make Snapchat filters, there's always a trial and error figuring out what works and what doesn't. So hopefully everything is still fresh in my mind as to how I did it. So I can show you how it was created. And feel free as we go through the videos, just to kind of put your own tweaks on it. Because I did have to purchase the MP3 file. There's an audio file in this. I'm going to go ahead and upload all the images and the audio file into a file or a folder so that you can access those files and to implement in your own if you like. If you haven't yet, follow me on Facebook and Snapchat. I'll share that information later on. If you haven't found me on Facebook yet, that's probably the easiest way to find me right now. But, go ahead and find me on Facebook and follow me. And, you'll see whenever I'm creating filters, I share them on Facebook. But let's go ahead and get started with the Cat in the Hat. Let's see. Okay, so I have a folder in the Google Drive, and I'll make sure that I'll share that link with you. There are four different files. One is Cat in the Hat PNG. Another one is Glasses PNG. And then there's two different audio files. There is the full audio file of Cat in the Hat that I bought from Amazon last night for like 99 cents. Oh, it's going to play without me having to download something. It should. Looks like it's not. Oh, there it goes.
I am indeed a cat, and this, indeed, is a hat. In English, cat. Hat. In French, chapeau.
Okay, so that's the full, I forget how many minutes it is. That's the full thing I purchased off Amazon for like 99 cents. So I use a tool called Auto Trimmer. I'll go ahead and go over that tool a little bit. I think it's Auto Trimmer. This is how I find it. I need to like bookmark the stuff, but MP3 Trimmer, and it's Audio Trimmer, not Auto Trimmer. It's a free online tool. I've not had any issues with it. So once you grab your audio file from wherever you grab it, I spoke in the last video about how movie sounds, like sometimes I do like the John Wayne movie, or archive, something with archive internet where I got the Cool in the Game song. Shoot, that's not what I want to do. Let's go ahead and move that down. Okay, so all you would do is like, you would download the file and then you would choose file. So I'm going to go ahead and choose the Cat in the Hat one. Give it a minute.
I am indeed a cat, and this, indeed, is a hat. In English, cat, hat. In French, chapeau.
So I'm going to mute that while I'm talking, but you can see how it's progressing and slowly uploading. It works pretty fast. It works pretty well. I've not had any issues with it. And you can trim it because you remember in the last video, there is a certain file size you need to be aware of for your Snapchat filter. So you would just, trim it down by, using this drag and drop. And you can use any other tool that you may find. This is the tool that I found and that I like. And you would just listen to it, have it end at the spot that you want it to end.
Indeed a cat, and this, indeed, is a hat. In English, cat, hat.
And the other thing to kind of take in consideration whenever you're trying to figure out a stopping point is like, what's a realistic time for your user engagement, for somebody to, be using your filter and, for the audio thing. And you also wanted to try to, get at a stopping point that kind of is not in the middle of a word or anything. So that's just something that you kind of get a feel for. It's like, what is the ideal time? Like, what is the attention span for a filter? And where does it, I know I've done some filters where they kind of went on too long with the audio just because I liked it or something. But that's just something you want to take in consideration. Just because you like it does not mean your end user is going to want to have that filter and that audio go as long as it does. So mine, I think the one I did for this Cat in the Hat is somewhere around here.
I am indeed a cat, and this, indeed, is a hat.
Okay, so it was around about that. So you can see it's about 7 seconds. And you can also adjust it, aside from the slider, you can adjust it through like this minus and this plus. You want to just, get very incremental. You can do a fade. Sometimes I do the fade, not always. But after you get to that point, you would just click crop. And then you would click download. I'm not going to download because I don't want to download another one. And I've not had any issues with it. So this is a tool that I like. There's plenty of other ones out there but this is the tool that I found that I like. Okay. So, and then that's how I get the smaller file that I actually use for the filter. So get into Snapchat. So I'm already logged in. So we're going to go ahead and start exploring creating a filter. And, the last filter, the last webinar, I can't think of the last word. The last presentation tutorial. Thank you. The last tutorial that I did, it was utilizing a template. The more you use templates, the more you just get comfortable with the components and the tools within Lens Studio, and that you can actually just, kind of just do a brand new project. And that's what I did last night. I kind of played with some templates, and then there were some constraints or just some stuff that I just didn't like about it. So I just wanted a new project on my own without having a template. So all I do is you're going to Lens Studio and click new project, give it a minute or two to load. Okay, so we have our workspace here and our dashboard. So you'll notice since we did not select a template, it's pretty minimal on the objects pane. There's not a whole lot there because it's not a template. Same thing with resources. There's just like the bare minimum needed, for the filter. There's nothing in inspector. And then on the preview, we kind of explored that in the last tutorial as well. Just as a reminder, because I'm recording this, it won't let me do a webcam. But if you're not recording, then you can just select webcam and then you can see it without having to send it to your lens. So let's go ahead and get back to that. So the filter that I had, it had two components, or 2 points or components, I guess you want to call it. There was one filter. It was based off a cat, because cat in the hat. So let's go ahead and focus on that. So the objects, and then you can go to object tracking, and you'll see that there's cat tracking, dog tracking, cats and dogs, hand tracking, shoulder tracking, upper body tracking, and full body tracking. And there are so many different things that you can do with Snapchat, and I don't even know it all. But yeah, I tend to kind of just keep practicing and playing with and discovering things. And that's really my best recommendation on getting more and more comfortable with it and creating some cool stuff. So I'm going to select cat tracking. You can do cats and dogs if you like. I'm going to go ahead and select, actually I'm going to do cats and dogs because I want to. So it comes up here and you can see it's got a picture of a cat in the background, and then it's got like the default image placeholder thing. So let's go ahead and upload our resources here. Go to resources, from files, the files that we are using. So like I said, last night I was playing with a few different ideas, and this is what I ended up coming up with. So I'm going to grab the cut audio file, the shorter audio file. I'm going to grab this glasses, and I'm going to grab this cat in the hat. And again, all of these are already uploaded into the Google Drive. And I'm going to go ahead, if you want to, well, no, I'm not going to do that. Okay. Anyway, sorry. So we got the audio file, we got the glasses, and we got the cat in the hat. So let's go ahead and hit open. You know what? I told you wrong. I did the wrong thing. I did use a template. Okay. My bad. Sorry. I told you I played with a few different things, and I did use a template because of the hair. So let's try this again. Go back to the beginning. The templates, because I forgot I had white hair. Bum, 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 bum. Hair color. There we go. So give that a minute or two to load. So like I said, sometimes I do things just as a new project. What I had started to do, we can just do with a cat, and that would have worked fine. But for the filter that I made, I wanted the white hair, for Dr. Seuss. So that's why I'm using this template. You can see this template is pretty bare minimal as well. There's not a whole lot of content in it. You can see the hair color on the left-hand side under the objects. You can see it's got a little tip or hint of edit me. And whenever you click on that towards the right hand side, you'll see under the inspector, you can have a base color. And I want it to be silver or white, or looks like this is white. So that's what I want. And then also the secondary color, I want it to be white. And this is because, what I had done was Google Dr. Seuss and Cat in the Hat and see what I got for inspiration. And one of those things was just, white hair and glasses, because of Dr. Seuss. So you can choose the mode. Right now it's the roots, and that doesn't do much. So I did was the full head, and you can see, you can't really see that well on her, but it will be more full head of white. Okay, he's bald. That's not a good example. There we go. That's a little bit better. Full head of white. You can choose a gradient. Those pretty much the same color, so whatever you wanted to do on that. If you wanted to play with it a little bit, like a different kind of hue, and the ombre, it's really up to you what you want to do on that. Let's see, advanced. I didn't really mess with anything advanced, so let's just leave that alone. Okay, so now back to the cat and the hat and the audios and all that stuff. So let's go ahead and upload our resources again from files. And we got an MP3, we got the glasses, and we got the cat and the hat. And these are, again, already in the Google Drive. So let's go ahead. We got the color. We got our white hair color, but we also want glasses. The other things that I added on there were glasses that resembled, Dr. Seuss's glasses. And then also whenever a cat is tracked, whenever it captures that there's a cat in there, it has the glasses and the cat and the hat. You'll see. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with cat. So object tracking, let's go ahead and do cats and dogs. I think what I did last night was just cats, but we can do cats and dogs if we want. So again, it's got the default placeholder for an image. I'm going to grab the cat and the hat image. I'm sorry. So I need to make sure I have this image object tracking right here selected under cats and dogs tracking. And you'll see that it says default under texture. And this is where I'm going to grab and move that cat in the hat. Let's go ahead and change this from person to cat. Or let's do cat and dog. And what we can do once I get this activated again, why is it not doing? Is it frozen? Yeah, it was frozen. Okay. I should be, okay. Once I'm able to grab it, there we go. Wait for my computer to catch up with me. Is it done? Okay. There we go. I can drag it and just, you can see how it's on this center image. Then you can see how it is here as well. So I only have it on one animal right now. I'm not going to worry about the second animal. There is a way that you can do a second animal. Oh, but I'm forgetting how to do that right now. So we'll just, if there's a dog showing or a cat showing, it'll appear. But it's only set up to do one animal at a time. So it doesn't matter if it's a cat or a dog. It's just one animal though. Okay. So what we can also do, what I kind of like to do, let's just go do it this way. So make sure you kind of put your cursor down here. Sometimes it gets things nested inside other elements and that can cause a problem. So I just kind of like to, what I do there. Oh, okay. I just like to make sure that my, I kind of click down here and just make sure that it's not nested in something else. So I'll go back to object tracking and do cat and dog tracking. Okay, I don't know if something's wrong or if it's just being slow again. I think it's just being slow. Let's try this again. Cat, oh, there we go. Just being slow. So you can see there's cat and dog tracking 0, cat and dog tracking 1. Okay. I need to stop. Okay. Don't want my computer to crash. So, so we got another placeholder for the image. I'm just going to grab those glasses. I'm going to just drag it over. And you see it's got the placement for the glasses. And it works if it's a cat or a dog. Okay. Let's see. So the human's already got white hair. We got our cat or dog situated with a cat with a hat or glasses and glasses. Okay. So now we want to actually add glasses to the human as well. So we go to the objects, object tracking. What was it? No, it's face effects, I think. Try face image. I had problems with this last night. I don't know if it's being buggy or what. Okay. So, and sometimes this this does get buggy. So, and sometimes it gets slow. So just be mindful of that. It's a computer, it's technology. It's very handy, but by no means perfect. So, okay, we got the little placeholder for our image. So, you can see the image for default. We're just going to grab that glasses and just drag it over. And we can, there's a few different ways that you can resize something. I tend to just do this drag and place it. If you click under transform, there's a way you can, manually edit the X and the Y and the Z radius. Sometimes that is helpful depending on what you're doing. For this purpose, dragging it is just like the easiest thing to do. Okay. So we got Dr. Seuss glasses, kind of style glasses, and then we got white hair, and then we got a dog with a hat and glasses, and the same thing would be for a cat. Okay, so we got that. Now we just need the audio file. So click the plus symbol, general, audio, and this is what we did last time in the last tutorial. So we have this audio file. Again, it's the one that I trimmed using audio trimmer. I'm just going to drag that over. And let's see. Autoplay loop.
I am indeed a cat, and this, indeed, is a hat. I am indeed...
Okay, that's enough. So you can turn off the loop or you can turn on the loop. I tend to leave it on, but it's, to each their own. But I can mute that because I don't want to listen to it while I'm going over this or doing it. So I think that's pretty, I think I had another kind of component to it. So we got glasses, we got white hair. That's what started with the filter. And then we got glasses on the human, and we got glasses and the hat on either the dog or the cat. And again, that's only one animal at a time. There's a way to do a second animal. I just can't recall off the top of my head how to do it. So we're just not going to focus on that right now. And let's see. Okay, there's, the color. Okay. So now we're going to go under objects, and I think it was under color correction. So with color correction, you can just kind of put a different kind of layer on the color scheme that we have here. Like you can click monochrome, and it does that. That's not the one I want. So I'm going to go ahead and uncheck that. And you can see that when I uncheck it, it no longer applies that filter. You can also right click on it and delete it. Let's see. So what was a color correction? Maybe cinematic. That might have been it. I can't remember, but you can, you don't have to mimic what I did exactly. You can, do your own. So find whatever kind of color. We can explore a couple more here just so you can see the opportunities that are out there. And so color correction. What's instant photo? Okay, I like that one. We'll go ahead and leave it at that one. So you can, adjust some of it. You can, the material and the instant photo. I usually leave this at default. You can change the intensity of it if you want to. It just depends, personal preferences again. So, okay, we got something going on. I want to go ahead and send it to our lens or send it to our device for a trial. Now, something to keep in mind, especially if you're not familiar with Snapchat. If you try to change the volume whenever the filter is on, it just takes a picture of it. That's really annoying. That's how it is on the iPhone anyways. Maybe different for different devices. So I usually adjust the volume, especially if I'm like in a place like my office like I am right now, so that it doesn't get really loud. So I got my volume up about middle. and send links to device. Let's see if I can get back on this screen here. Okay, so you may have heard a break. Just saying that that's ready to preview. Like I said, I just need to find it. And okay.
I am indeed a cat, and this indeed is a hat.
Okay.
I am indeed a cat.
And so you can see that, and I don't have a cat.
Is a hat.
Okay, so I don't have a cat with me to show you how it will look on a cat or a dog. I just whenever I put the video I put out on Facebook yesterday or today, was I just took some images from Googled cats and dogs, and see how it would reflect that, because it captures the features of a cat or a dog, and it knows that it's a cat or a dog. That's a bit of the machine learning stuff behind it. And so it works. You heard it. You saw my white hair. And let's see. Okay, so then we would just go to project info. Let's go ahead. Updated 13 minutes ago. Let's make sure we're still in good mode. I don't think we're going to be in awesome. Oh, we're still awesome. Okay, good. Again, this can't go over 4 megabytes, but we're still doing good on that. So your project info, change it from the lens name of hair color, because that was a template that we used. We are going to change it to cat in the hat. I've already got one that's cat in the hat. Let's just do it Dr. Seuss birthday, something like that. Hint. I don't think I did a hint when I did it last night. There's not really anything you need to do to have a hint, short of finding a cat or a dog. So there's nothing really, anything that we should have to worry about on that. For the icon, we do want to make sure that we change the icon. I'm going to change it to this one, I think. Yeah, just because it's different than the one I already used. You can't really see it. There we go. So change the background, and now you can see it. Okay. Hit apply. We go ahead and hit apply, but there was something else that I did yesterday, so let's go ahead and do that. So even though I already applied it, I haven't published yet, and even after you do publish it, you can always make changes. But there's another thing that I did last night. Just I think we're all pretty familiar with filters, and one of the things that, especially as girls, like about filters is they can, make the wrinkles and the blemishes go away. So there's something that Snapchat can do as well. You can do makeup. You can do, just make things prettier. So what I did, that's under objects and face effects, and then it is face retouch. So you can just see, kind of takes away the shadows and the wrinkles, and just does a few little things. You can edit it like how much you want it, how intense. I would just use a little word of caution on this, unless it's obvious that you are doing something different, then might not want to, because that kind of there's some negative annotation of too much of a filter. It just depends. Is it obvious it's something playful, or it just depends. Because you don't want it to put like a false. There's a lot of people and there's a big concern that how the filters make us look so flawless, and then we also, when we look in the mirror, we know that's not real life. But whenever something is obviously a filter, I guess the concern is not quite as high. It's just you got to kind of pick and choose what you feel comfortable doing. So you can have a retouch or not. I did it with the retouch. And the other thing that I did that I just now remembered about is I did something different with the eyes. So face effects and face liquify. Where'd it go? Okay, face liquify. So, okay, you see Face Liquify, and what it does, oh, it took a second here, but now you can see it here. It does like weird things with the eyes. I don't know how to describe it other than weird. But weird is good, and that's one of the reasons we like filters. So you can change the location, I believe, if you want to. I kept them on the eyeballs though, but I did not make it quite that intense. So there is the left eye, and then there's the right eye. So just select the left eye, and I just slid this down a little bit. I wanted big eyes, but not like scary looking big eyes. And the intensity, just, find what works well, best for what you like. Same thing with the right eye. What did I do for the left eye? It was 110 and 170. So 110, let's do it this way, and 170. Okay. So now project info, go ahead and all of that should be fine. Don't have to do anything with that. Publish. Okay, and give it a second. I can go back down. I don't need that up there now. So you would, this is after I've already been logged into Lens Studio, whenever I first started, but you would choose business or community lens. Again, the bigger difference between the two is the fact of one's usually associated with something you need to pay for, and the other one's just free. So I usually go with free. Submit new lens or update an existing ones. Like if you made some edits and you just want to update an existing lens, I just usually have new ones. It just depends on what you're doing. So you can add a preview. The way that works is basically you would take a preview of it and then you would upload it in here. I usually don't do that just because of the steps required. Spark AR for Facebook and Instagram, they do require you to do that. That's why I tend not to make as many of those, just because there's more steps. But lens tag, so Dr. Seuss. So we want to use something that is relevant, that's going to capture the attention. That's something that my people might be looking for. And as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, I already knew it was about Read Across America Day, and I was planning on doing something for that. I did not know it was going to have as much conversation as it has been. But let's see, you can just do something, Read Across America. There's a limit. To America, read cat and the hat, dog and the hat, whatever. Let's see, we can look for a dog or a cat or a person. And it's going to be public. It's anybody who wants to look at it. And then we click submit lens. Okay, so once that's done, we'll see, it'll eventually go on there. Like here's the one I made last night, Cat in the Hat. I don't know how many people, it's probably not so hat. It's only been out since last night. And it's got 815 views, 17 shares, 510 plays. Total amount of time a lens is used by a Snap camera user, 0 minutes. It's not a full minute, so I don't know enough about the metrics on how this, because it's not a full minute, so it may not count in minutes. I don't know how it counts in seconds. That's something I need to learn a little bit more myself, but it's got some views and some shares and some plays. Okay, so you can just go back to my lens, and this might already be the one that we just did. Yeah, it's already public. One of the reasons I like Snapchat better than Spark AR is because there's not as many steps to get something approved, and it's pretty much immediately available. As opposed to Spark AR, you have to wait sometimes a week before something is made available. So I tend to kind of just navigate towards Snapchat just for those reasons. Okay, so trying to think what else. So I talked earlier about content management, creating the content management. So I'm going to make a separate video as soon as I get done with this. Oh, I remember what I was going to do. So it was successful. So this is a step that I bypassed last time. And so whenever you go to File, Close to Home, it's going to ask if you want to save this project. You can click Save, and then it'll save it, wherever you have it save at, named it whatever. Cat in the Hat. And this is something definitely that you want to do if it's necessary for you. I've gotten to the point now, I've made so many of these filters that if I save them all, it's a lot. And it's most of them, there is no detrimental something that I need to be worried about if I lost it. So I don't necessarily save them anymore. These are all the filters that I've made. So if I lose something, it's not the end of the world. But it just depends, take in consideration your needs and what's the purpose for you as to if you want to save it. But that's how you do it. If you don't save it, like you can see, if you do save it as recent projects, Cat in the Hat. If it's something you're continuing to work on, like you haven't finished it, like I usually get them anymore finished in one setting. But if I wasn't finished on something, if I want to go back and make some changes, then I could and just, save it. I tend to just not save them anymore unless it's something that I really, really want to make sure that I keep. It just depends, like everything else. It just depends. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up on this video. And the next video that I want to start here just a second is the fact of content management strategy and how I come up with ideas and, inspiration and whatnot. So stay tuned.